Right, joining us now, we've got a couple of special guests for a very unique musical. Think ER meets Broadway, perhaps, I would have to say. Joining us right now, we got Dr. Jeff Foy and his son Jacob. This is something very unique. Emergency the Musical is coming to Carmel. Matter of fact, it's going to be at the Turkington next month. And gentlemen, number one, thank you both for joining me on the show today.
Thank you for having us. It's wonderful to be here.
Yeah, we're really excited. Thank you very much.
Absolutely, Jacob. Thank you. So, Dr. Foy, if you would maybe kind of set the stage here. As I said, Emergency the Musical. What's the thinking behind this, and how did it come to life?
So I've been practicing emergency medicine for over 20 years now, and I've been a theater lover my whole life. And through my work in the ER, mostly working nights, I began to increasingly think that the ER would be a really cool setting for a musical. And I started thinking, I'm like, I don't think that's ever been done before. Somebody should do that. And as time went on, I kept thinking it would be really cool if I could be the one to tell that story. However, I don't know anything about music. I don't play anything. I love to listen to music, but I don't know how to write music, play music. I don't play any instruments. And so I kind of always thought it would be a pipe dream, that it would never really happen. And then when Jacob was 14, he started becoming really interested in music. It started by wanting to learn his parts on his from his show choir, and he began practicing and becoming quite good at music. And one night when he was in his room playing something, I heard a beautiful melody that he had written. And at that moment, kind of something sparked in my mind, and I thought maybe we could collaborate on this together to do this thing I've always thought about. And so I went into his room that night and said, "Hey, what do you think about this?" And the rest is history.
That's incredible. So, Jacob, let's pick up from there in terms of your interest in music. So, your dad comes in with this idea. What immediately goes through your mind then in terms of how do you marry the idea of your dad's experience with what's going on, as he said, in the ER? And then, like I said, to combine music, how did that work for you?
Well, the first thing that went through my head was probably, that sounds awesome, but I have no idea how to do that. So the idea, we just kind of came up with some good scenarios, and through just growing up, I would hear a lot of stories about the hospital and the crazy things that dad would be dealing with, and interesting stories about patients. So I already had some ideas floating around of some cool song moments. And again, neither of us really had any theater experience. I had been in like one show in eighth grade by that point, but we kind of just had to figure it out. We came up with some ideas of some scenarios and just thought, hey, maybe this could be a good moment for a song. And we had to reference some musicals and just to kind of see how they move and the ways that music is integrated into it to make the story flow. But we just kind of started writing. That was our path. We didn't do too much work up front. We just kind of we're gonna do it, so let's do it.
That is really that's interesting. Just the whole thought, as you mentioned, Jacob, hearing these stories and then trying to set them to music. So, Jeff, let's talk about that for a moment. With your career clearly in the ER, you've seen the good, the bad, the ugly. What for those that will come to see Emergency, the musical, what what can they expect?
I think they can expect to see something they've never seen before, because this has never been done on stage. Nobody's ever taken the emergency department to the stage. No Broadway show's ever been set there. So it'll be a really unique experience. And our philosophy in writing this show, and it was really important to me to make this as realistic as possible, both accurate from a medical standpoint, but not too medical to where it's hard to understand,
Sure.
but also to represent the things that I see on a daily basis, which there's funny things, there's sad things, there's things that warm your heart, there's things that surprise you. And I really wanted to bring that to the stage so that the people watching the show could get a taste of that.
So, as you mentioned, it's a combination of the happiness, the sad stories, the inspirational stories, the miracles, the tragedies. Unfortunately, let's face it, in an ER, as you said, Jeff, you've seen it all. With Emergency, the musical, there's obviously music, but with the storytelling, how does that play out? Is it a narrator? Will there be performers? What do we expect?
We have a cast, a very large cast actually, of 30 actors. We have a few coming in from New York City, and our director's coming in from New York City. And we follow the lead character, whose name's Justin Marks. He just graduated from medical school. But unfortunately, due to some issues that plagued him during his medical school career, he didn't match into a program for emergency medicine, which is what he's dreamed of doing his whole life since he was 10. So he gets one chance to apply in person for this job, and they want to watch him work through the night shift to see if he is a good fit for that one spot left. But in order to get the job, he has to overcome the three things that have plagued him most. Number one, his med school nemesis, Kyle. Number two, he was kind of an introvert. He studied his whole life to try to be a doctor. So he studied at the expense of forming good social relationships. So he's a bit of an introvert and has some trouble with social settings. So he has to overcome that. And then the last thing he has to overcome is his fear of making errors and harming people. So he has to overcome all those three things to really be able to do what he wants to do for his life.
That sounds like it's going to be, I mean, it's quite the production, as you mentioned. I mean, a deep cast. Here you have the music, here you have the storytelling. Uh, I'm fascinated, Jeff. I think certainly that this has never been done before, as you described. So this sounds like this is the perfect platform there at the Tarkington in Carmel. Do you gentlemen, do you think potentially could it reach other stages?
We
That
would
would
love
be our
that.
hope. That our goal is to push this all the way to Broadway. Now that's a very, very large undertaking, but the best way we can start that process is to have a good run here, sell
Right.
out the shows. Producers take notice of shows that are selling out and that people are interested in. So that's our hope, that we can rally some of our local friends and families and community to really to make this on the map for people. We had a run in New York in 2018, and it did really well in reviews. We sold out our last show. We got good critic reviews. So we have some good legs to stand on already. So we're really hoping that we can use this production to keep the ball rolling.
And the dates you mentioned again, Jeff, next month?
August 27th through 30th, and we have two shows on Saturday, the 29th.
Okay. All right. Let's go back to the music for a moment, Jacob, and talk about obviously your involvement. I mean, this is your dad, obviously. As you said, he has shared a lot of stories with you. So when you started hearing these stories, and now you've got the task of coming up with the music, what was your favorite part? Were there certain ones that you thought, oh, this is the piece, or this is the music, or this is the instrument that is going to help to really tell this story? Were there certain ones?
There definitely are some songs that were pivotal moments for the writing of the story for sure. I think I connected personally the most with the stories that, or with the songs, excuse me, that told the stories of the patients in the ER. Like Dad said, we tried to really represent everything accurately, not just the medical side of things, but also the interpersonal relationships, what's happening with the patients when the doctors aren't in the room, what they're talking about, what's going on with out in the waiting room, people just, trying to get through triage. So we tried to tell all those stories with different sounding music, but the ones that I really attached to the most were probably "Forever in Your Eyes" is a song that's sung by an older couple who's in there on their having to spend their 50th anniversary in the ER, and that's actually one of the very first songs we wrote for the show, and it's pretty much remained completely unchanged. When we were writing, we had this idea that we wanted to tell a heartbreaking story of, two older people facing the reality of death in the ER. And once we put it on paper, we knew, like, all right, this is going to be the song that really brings everything together, at least for me when I was writing it.
That's incredible. That's incredible. I think a lot of fans of whether it's musicals or even just experimental theater, because I almost put it into that category, hearing you both describe this, especially Jeff, as you said, since it's never been done before. I think this really does have a lot of possibilities, in my opinion, because it combines the stories that so many of us unfortunately know, even myself included, having a couple of visits to the ER. and even knowing some family and friends that are in the medical industry, and then that field to where they have heard the good, the bad, the ugly. And so for this to be set to music, I'm really excited for both of you to see yeah, how this plays out next month.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so
Again,
much.
August 27th through the 30th, Tarkington in Carmel. Dr. Jeff Foy, Jacob, I thank you both for your time. Easiest way, and we'll obviously put this link within, we're going to post this to my blog and share it even on social media, but easiest way for our listeners to get tickets.
There's a link right on our website, emergencymusical.com. It'll take you right to the Allied Solutions Center page, to our particular page of Emergency the Musical, and their tickets are right there. They start at $40.
Easy enough. All right, so we will put that link, as you mentioned, Jeff, within this blog, and I think it's going to be exciting to see how people come out and are able to experience, again, the highs, the lows, all of it from the ER, but again, set to music. So, Jeff, Jacob, thank you both. It was great meeting you both, and I'm looking forward to the production next month.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much.